A day like any other. Dull light filtered lazily in through my obscuring window shades, illuminating my otherwise unlit office. Electricity expensive, you see, and in my line of work, pay comes sporadically at best. A polished desk sits in the middle of my office. On the desk, besides a little gold plaque that simply reads, Geo, Private Detective. I am geothermal energy, but Geo rolls off the tongue more smoothly. Like I said, it seemed to be a day like any other, when all of a sudden, there came a sharp and frantic knock at my door. That kind of knock came from someone that had gotten themselves into some kind of dire situation. So dire, they had to come to me. Door's open, I yelled nonchalantly as I deftly turned on my office lights. Gotta be professional, you see. Most clients' eyes aren't accustomed to the natural light that pervaded my office. In stepped Earth, one of the sturdiest looking dames I'd ever seen. Earth was somehow involved with everything in the city. She was panting softly. Evidently, she needed to get here in a hurry. Whatever brought her to me must be real serious. Take a seat, doll, and just tell me what sort of predicament you got yourself into, I said nonchalantly, attempting to conceal my starstruck nature.
Well,
she uttered as she collapsed eloquently into the chair.
Do you know Mr. Fossil Fuel?
Yeah, I confirmed. Also known as Mr. Petroleum and the Bone Burner. I'd known Mr. Fossil Fuel to be involved in several less than savory escapades over the years. She began breathing less heavily and sunk further into her chair, seeming more relaxed and exhausted.
Well, lately he's been causing more trouble than he usually does.
That's so.
Yes, and that brings me to why I'm here. Mr. Fossil Fuel has been positively choking me. He's been polluting so badly. Lately, I've had a hard time seeing straight.
Don't worry yourself, girl, I said smoothly, leaning back in my chair. PIGO will take care of this Mr. Fossil Fuel problem. I arrived at Mr. Fossil Fuel's office building, armed with only my sense of moral righteousness and my acute wits. And Magma, my .44 Magnum handgun I keep strapped securely to my chest. I draw most of my power from the heat Magma gives off. I entered the gargantuan building and was greeted by a plastic-looking receptionist. She tiredly waved me to a staircase on her left. Several flights long of twisting staircases later, I found myself facing a large mahogany door, decorated with large silver plaque boldly stated, Mr. Fossil Fuel. I opened the door, Magma secure on my chest. Behind an organized desk that looked surprisingly like my own, sat a grotesque face that belonged to Mr. Fossil Fuel. A pudgy face with two beady coal-black eyes glared out from below a swath of combed, oily hair. Before even a surprised gasp could escape his mouth, I forcefully inquired, Why have you been polluting so much? Grinning knowingly, Fossil Fuel replied,
Geothermal energy, is it? You look like you need to let off some steam.
Answer the damn question, I demanded. And yes, I use heat from the steam heated by magma below the crust of the planet to produce sustainable energy in eco-friendly power plants.
Yes. Once your plants use the heat from the steam, the water is put back into the earth where it can be reheated. How efficient. But you see,
Fossil Fuel said, still grinning,
I'm the undisputed master of the energy industry. Other less destructive options could easily confuse a poor customer's fragile mind. I have streamlined the industry, making it more accessible to them. So what if I annually release around 21.3 billion tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere?
You're daft, I shouted, staring into his cold, abyssal eyes. Don't you see that a renewable energy source like mine produces little to no greenhouse gases and don't cause global climate change?
It makes no difference what you say. Your destitute existence has no effect on me. Your insignificance serves only as a waste of my valuable time and energy.
I'll tell everyone what you're doing, I goaded him. Knowing what his answer would be, I began to move my hand slowly toward Magma.
Surely,
he said, still wearing his frigid smile.
You don't expect me to let you continue your wretched existence. Your ability to supply a continuous base load of power, like me, sets you apart from my other lesser competition. Although still in your infancy as an alternate energy source, only producing around 10,715 megawatts of energy worldwide. Someday you might try to take my place.
He quickly began to unholster a hidden firearm. As I expected, Magma was already pointing at his oily nose. Looks like you're out of power, I said just as coolly as I'd rehearsed my hit. Fossil Fuel, unable to accept his inevitable defeat, attempted to draw his weapon the rest of the way. Sometimes, you see, people like me are the only alternative to the existence of people like Fossil Fuel.